playing because apparently we're in the lobby. We're casting. I wasn't muted. I wanted to listen to the Final Fantasy soundtrack. Is that so wrong, people? Is that so wrong? Either way, we're getting into this.
Because Noble and I came to a startling realization about the players.
What is it?
Tralf has been kicked and Kokoni is now on
Yeah, no, so Kokoni is their roster. Wait, well, let me introduce the game, then we will discuss the roster, because I do know what the permanent roster is for Boreal, but this is E-Wolves versus Boreal. Boreal doesn't have their in-game tag, but they have all their players with their proper names, and E-Wolves does have their in-game tag, but doesn't have any of the right names. So not helping us out, this is game 2 of the Join Dota playoffs. We are still in the upper bracket, but whoever loses here, right, you fall down, and I think the North America bracket is actually the hardest, just because so many good teams got seeded. Either way, we'll be getting into this. E-Wolves just lost that game after being down up 10,000 net worth. It is going to be hard on your morale, and you got to be feeling good if you're this lineup of Boreal. But getting into it, I got Noble Wings joining me. I got about 7 llamas joining me. I'm Llama Down Under. I am not about 7 llamas. So anyway, how's everybody doing? What do you think we need to do after that game 1?
Not throw a 13k gold lead.
Don't give the enemy Spectre.
Okay, these are all excellent suggestions, but whoa, what is this Leshrac ban?
Is this 6.4?
No, Leshrac is still really strong because of the fact that he jungles super fast, and his landing phase, although less dominant, is still really effective at killing the mid solo.
Yeah. So, and I know some folks were wondering, but this lineup for Boreal, this is actually their official. I believe this is going to be their Mages roster. We finally do have Kokoni in. He is their hard carry. And so no more stand-in Tralf, but yeah, we're going to be seeing what exactly is coming out. Many of you probably haven't heard of Baka Mono. I did said that wrong, didn't I? Baka Amber, please help me.
Radiant team.
Baka Mono. Huh? No, it's Baka Mono. Someone in chat corrected me. So Baka Mono. And he is a new player, so if you haven't seen him, that's why. But all of these bans looking pretty standard. We've seen Gyro is still actually super powerful. And yeah, we're going to be getting right into it. First pickup, what do you think's good? I know Lena's still pretty popular.
I'm on the Night Stalker hype train. I think Night Stalker is like a really strong hero right now. So if I was them, I'd get the Night Stalker.
Yeah.
5 seconds remaining.
So, they're taking quite a bit of time, so we're gonna dip into their reserve time here. Also, we are on Brazil now. I don't actually know since...
Wait, are we?
Yes.
No, we're on US East.
We're still on US East? Oh.
Yeah. This is dumb. Why don't I have my admins tell me I can play US East 3 games?
You have to play your host. You gotta play your host and then you just win. Either way, we have the Tusk pickup. He can dodge a bunch of business. Not quite sure with the Snowball nerf if he is still first pick worthy, but we saw him do a lot of work last game.
This patch has been really versatile, as we've seen teams pick up pretty much anything in the first 2 picks. Like some teams prioritize like the Tusk, some teams will prioritize Night Stalker, some will prioritize like whatever else. Like first pick is not predefined like it was in 6.84 where it was like Leshrac, Lina, Bounty Hunter. Nowadays you can find, I bet you a pool of 20 plus heroes are getting first picked. Stats man will have to confirm.
Yeah, and we'll be finding that out when we get in the game. Unfortunately, we can't throw up stats in the pick screen, which always a problem, but either way, E-Wolves now dipping way into their reserve time. There are some good combos. They go with the Shadow Fiend. I was gonna say, you still got stuff like the Earthshaker +1 usually ensures you a kill on mid. You got just a lot of other fun combos you can go as well. With Earthshaker, always can pick up that Darkseer. Even though he got nerfed a bit, I think he's still a powerful offlaner.
Yeah, I feel Earthshaker is gonna be the next pick for E-Wolves. Because of solely the fact that you can fissure mid with Shadow Fiend and get almost guaranteed kills on whatever mid there is.
Yeah. And just so folks know, the lineup of E-Wolves is Smash, Stinger, Mystico, Van, and Masuko. And yeah, that is their lineup. I know that Smash is Iona fanboy, and we're pretty much I'm in a lot of trouble with the rest of them because I don't know who matches up where, but we'll figure it out as the game goes on. And yeah, sorry folks about pronunciation again. I work on it. My English ain't so great. Neither is any other language I speak. Either way, talking about it, they're burning so much reserve time for this pick.
I think they're thinking about picking something like Witch Doctor or something that can counter initiate on the Tusk Snowball. Earthshaker can do it still, or AA pick.
Radiant team.
So he got a small buff to the cold feet radius. Oh, range, not the radius, the cost range. And I do think he's very good at countering a lot of those strong supports, like you just mentioned, Witch Doctor, Dazzle. A little bit surprised to see him picked up so early, because I feel like he's great if you can get him a bit later and just kind of be like, oh, you were thinking you were getting a Huskar or those strong supports. Of course, he might get banned out if you do that.
10
So
seconds remaining.
Yeah. One thing that's underrated that got changed pretty recently, or not pretty recently, it was like, I don't know if it was 6.83, but you can purge cold feet off your, or chilling touch
Yeah.
off yourself. Yeah.
I think it was
And-
8-3.
Yeah, that can be really useful when you're like under a Tusk sigil and you can't really attack at all. So purging the chilling touch can be really helpful to get attack speed.
Something
So
else
that's a nice buff.
Something else I'm interested to see that I believe you pointed out to me last time is we might see the Spectre ban
10
out just because
seconds
Ancient
remaining.
having the global lineups, Ancient Apparition with the global
5
Spectre as
seconds
well can always be
remaining.
powerful, but instead a Drow ban. And I think that if they don't ban it, we're going to see Spectre picked up this time by E-Wolves if Boreal doesn't ban it.
Yeah, I'll be really surprised if Boreal doesn't ban the Spectre. I think E-Wolves has first pick coming out of the draft, so Boreal
do.
don't really have a way to get the Spectre. I think they have to ban it. I'll be really surprised if it's anything else.
Yeah. Now,
5
it is one of those
seconds
things where they might just not see it. They might be thinking of banning out something like the Dazzle, not wanting Shadow Fiend to, become
Reserve
very
time.
tanky very early on. Dazzle, someone who can help with that. So maybe it'll get through, and I do imagine E-Wolves will just pick that right up. Are there other global options they can go with other than the Spectre? Is Nature's Prophet a thing?
There's Zeus and there's Nature's Prophet. Those are the only two really big ones. I mean, there's Clockwork if you wanna go that. Well, they ban the Broodmother. I think this is Spectre time for E-Wolves.
Yeah. I understand the Broodmother ban. I think they had a lot of trouble with it last game, and they know they're not going to pick heroes this time who can really deal with it. So, just getting it
Yeah.
out of the pool, but leaving the Spectre in, very dangerous with the AA.
10 seconds.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's kind of gimmicky to go for Zeus or Nature's Prophet because the heroes, even with the global combo, aren't that strong. Well, this is
Radiant team.
Okay, I wasn't
Darkseer.
expecting this. We did talk a little bit already about how he is a very strong offlaner still, but I was definitely expecting the Spectre or something else, and Darkseer, I mean, a Tusk can snowball through without the wall without making
Yeah.
replicates.
And I don't.
Illusions.
If you're gonna pick a Darkseer, I don't know why you ban the Winter Wyvern in your fourth pick because I feel Darkseer combos so well with Winter Wyvern. It would be a great pick for you right now if you hadn't banned
Yeah.
it.
It might just be a case of sometimes I know a lot of teams do have trouble with the fact that Wyvern's ultimate does reduce the damage people are taking. People who are attacking the coast unit get 70%
Yeah.
damage reduction. And so with an AA, you're going to lose a lot of that effectiveness. So maybe they were just like, look, we're not going to pick it just for that. But at the same time,
Yeah.
there is certainly a combo there.
They need, like, their combo is really strong, right? They have Shadow Fiend ulti, they have AA Blast, and they have Vacuum. But they need some way to lock people down once they're vacuumed. Whether that be Earthshaker, whether that be any other support that has a good lockdown AoE stun, but they need something to keep them there.
Yeah, and it's going to be a lion. This is certainly going to help. You can get those big earth spikes up on folks when you have a vacuum, but again, not sure if he does as well as someone like Earthshaker with Aftershock, and I'm still really surprised the Spectre hasn't come out. Are they maybe worried it would get counterpicked?
Dire team.
Well, I think they're afraid of this Tusk over lane against the Spectre, and I mean it is a scary lane. Like we saw it in game 1, that Boreal used that same lane to shut down Spectre,
10 seconds.
or to not shut down the Ember. And Spectre's maybe even a weaker lane than Ember. So if they use the exact same combo, Spectre's gonna have a really rough time in lane.
Yeah.
Reserve
So-
time.
We're gonna see the effectiveness of the Ogre Magi again. I love this guy. I love multicast. He's like my second favorite hero. Yeah, he's my second favorite hero. So I love watching Ogre Magi. I'm so happy he got buffed and excited to see, but wondering what these ban outs will be. Both sides looking for a hard carry. And E-Wolves does have the first pick up out of this ban phase, so they can secure the Spectre.
Yeah, if Spectre makes it through now, I'm gonna be very surprised.
Yeah, I mean,
think-
they're Do you think maybe they're also worried about on Boreal for something like the Huskar? Just because, like, they have the AA and they could pick it up and
Radiant
business could be
team.
happening.
Meepo.
Dire
It is an Ember Spirit good against Meepo, I thought.
That was that was a troll ban. I'm 100% sure. I think what they no okay. I know what they did. But to explain the Meepo ban
Okay.
is they had 2 carries that they wanted to pick. And if they ban out one of them, that means that Boreal can pick the other one and then they're out with nothing. So I'm assuming it was maybe like an Anti-Mage and Spectre. But by banning the Meepo, even if E-Wolves pick Anti-Mage or Spectre, you still have the other one to fall back on. So that's a good drafting trick that you can use. So although like the Meepo pick kind of looks trolly, I'm sure it was
It's
something
just
like that.
Yep.
10 seconds
So that makes a lot of sense, and now they could get the Spectre again, or whatever hard carry they were really looking for, as you said, because you waste a ban. So...
This is going to be an interesting pick, because I don't think they expected the Slark.
And
Yeah,
the
they're running
Queen of-
Ember safe.
Yeah, it could be Ember safe, it could be... I'm really surprised, I really didn't expect it to be Ember safe. Not... I know he can be very strong, he can get a lot of fun, farm. He can have a lot of fun as well. You can farm and have fun, it's something that happens, guys. But not what I was expecting. I'm used to the Quap being that either off lane or mid, but the Ember being given mid priority just to get those sick levels, since you're so powerful early game.
Yeah, we've been seeing a lot more Ember safe lane lately, just because like his laning is really weak, and by giving him safe lane priority, you can secure early Battle Fury. But I'm still surprised. I think Ember versus Shadow Fiend is an okay matchup for Ember. The Shadow Fiend's gonna have free farm, but at least you can get levels, and it's really difficult to die in that matchup. There's some matchups like Leshrac or even Quap that before 6, Ember Spirit has a really hard time not dying. But Shadow Fiend has no real way to initiate, and since their supports can't roam either, it's not a hard lane.
Yeah, let's quickly introduce the teams, and then we'll do our introductions again. We have Ancient Apparition being played by 313. Okay, actually, technically, this lineup is Smash, Stinger, Mystico, Van, and Masuko, but I'm not quite sure who's on what. I do know that Smash is going to be on that Shadow Fiend. We got DD on Slok, 313 on Ancient Apparition, UMR on the Lion, and then Take It Easy on the Darkseer, and tossing it over to you. Actually, I made you introduce Boreal twice, so if we go to a game 3, I get that, but here you go.
Well, here we have Pizza Dad, who's, I think, the captain on Rubik. We have PQ up on Ogre Magi. We have Bakamano up on the Queen of Pain, going down the middle lane. We have Jeppins going on this off-lane Tusk again, maybe with Ogre Magi. And we have Kikoni, who is replacing Trouth on the Ember Spirit.
Yeah, and I believe this is their full official roster for Boreal. Once again, I am Llama Down Under. I am joined by the wonderful Noble Wings from Next Level Badasses. We've also got about 7 llamas on a stats, so give him your energy for mad fat stacks. We again have an aggressive TP out by the Lion to place a ward. And just as I was saying, I am a new caster. I would love your feedback on how to get better. If there's something you're not liking, please leave it in Twitch chat. My mods generally fill me in on what happened after the game. So, yeah, but early aggressive ward movements on both teams. And again, as you mentioned last game, maybe not knowing these wards are already out, although Jeppins this time gonna find UMR. Aren't you two just standing right next to each other? What on earth? Jeppins just taking auto attack damage. I think he is a little bit AFK or something. Slok even just not going for it. But the really nice ice shields, and here comes the Ogre Magi. Does he have the ignite? No, he has the fire blast. He's in range for it though. That range is huge. They're going in, more still, but SF is coming around. They do get the first blood with that, with the Rubik Feed Bolt. They might be able to get some pickoffs here with the Chilling Touch. They're certainly getting some kills. Maybe even quite a lot. Ice Shards, no Snowball to hide out of this, and I think they're going to get 3 bloody return kills. PQ, the Chilling Touch has been worn down, but at the same time, some nice blocks coming out, not knowing if... I don't think this is going to latch unless they had Pounce, so...
They have Pounce in 3, but not close enough.
So this game, already infinite kills a minute, folks. I hope you're excited, because I am.
This is a Quap safe lane, by the way. This is Ember mid.
Yeah, I've seen that a few times. I don't like it as much. This is Bakemono on that mid, and I think some of you folk, yeah, anyway, either way, Queen of Pain safe lane, she'll probably get all of this farm. She can have a pretty easy time against the Darkseer, but...
And, no, I can explain why you do it. This is something that my team actually does a lot. I guess I'm giving away strats here, but
I'm sure nobody who actually plays is watching us, so you should be fine.
Well, yeah, Boreal might be the team we're facing anyway, so... what happens is, you pick the Quap safe lane because they pick an off laner, and if you want to aggro try and fight their tri lane, Quap is a great hero to 1v1 in the safe lane. She does really well versus pretty much anybody. So by picking the Quap in the safe lane, you can secure an even matchup versus Darkseer, put a tri lane on top without any backlash, and get an Ember mid too. So it becomes really powerful actually.
Yeah. And this top lane, we can see Slark not able to get up close at all. He is nowhere near. He actually takes Ice Shards way off the mark. He takes a nice little slap to the face. Rubik only has Fade Bolt right now. So the other thing I really want to talk about here is it was a little bit unfortunate. I think Smash thought he maybe could get a second kill by picking up those razors, but if he had gone Necromastery, I think he would have started that mid lane with 12 souls, and that is called winning. We have another Fade Bolt coming out on Slark, but they have Mr. Jeppins caught out of it. He doesn't have Snowball yet, but they're taking a lot of damage on the DD as well. He actually tries to leap down to the low ground, but he goes down to the creeps. I guess better than nothing, and they're probably going to pick up Rubik here. This cold, chilling touch doing so much work. Ogre Magi might get a return kill. Fire Blast is up. He's looking for URMR. He's looking actually for AA. A little bit of a split there. AA should be able to walk it off since PQ is still not level 2. Actually, Ogre Magi, though, he's so fast. Ice Shards to the face is a very dead ancient apparition. Slog is finally back in lane. Has a salve applied to him as well. That looks like it was an accident. I think he was trying to give it over to a teammate. Thank you, new patch. And now UML looking like he's going to go down under the tower, but they get the latch under the tower as well. And this Earth Spike's going to be coming off cooldown. Slog taking a lot of damage. UML not wanting to come up because of the Fade Bolt damage of the lift. And yeah. So that happened this game. 3 kills a minute. You know, just South American Dota things, and fight recap showing us definitely in favor of E-Wolves.
And another thing important that E-Wolves did is they got us a good sentry down here, and that's going to get the Observer Ward of Boreal dewarded really quickly.
Yeah. So Boreal gonna be having an even harder time in this lane all of a sudden. We have got, we got Ward Wars. Actually, they don't quite manage to get the Void. So,
oh no, that's really bad actually.
Yeah. So their sentry is gone. I don't know if they have another one between them all. They do not. And who is making that weird sound with their lips? Which hero is doing that? Do you hear that sound?
That is...
It might just
Tusk?
be me, actually. It's Tusk.
No,
Okay,
I
have
think it's
never
Tusk.
heard that before, and it's freaking me out. Either way, it's like when I played a game with a Skywrath the other day, or I costed a game and he was making the sound, and I was like, what is that? I'm hallucinating chickens. This is like back to my childhood. But either way, let's take a look around the map instead of Llama reminiscing. Darkseer actually not being forced out of lane at all. I thought the Shadow Strike would have a bit more impact. He's certainly taking a lot of damage, but he's not going down. He actually vacuums back Bakemono, forcing out that blink, and that's a level 1.
He forced out a Mango too.
Yeah.
I think.
Level 1 is like 15 seconds on that blink cooldown, so if she isn't careful, you can go down to another vacuum or Darkseer Bolt. And just so folks know, this game is actually 1 up for the side of Boreal. The players, since they hosted it, didn't bother to do the stuff.
One thing is Quap is definitely winning this bottom lane. Darkseer has 13-0, while Quap has 15-7. And that doesn't seem too important, but it means that Quap is going to hit level 6 a lot quicker than Darkseer.
Yeah.
And that can lead to maybe an early kill.
Another little miscommunication here. It looks like PQ is like, guys, we're going in ham. I have so much armor. They're going to get the snowball. This should mean that Kikoni is able to land at Searing Chains most certainly. And now Shadow Fiend going down. He can't get a kill on any of these folks as a follow-up. And the rotations from his support's just way too late. So
That was a great gank by them, actually.
yeah, I also really liked how probably Kikoni was like, no, I'm not in position. And Ogre Magi, PQ on this Ogre Magi just going, no, I've got it in the top lane. The Rubik falls again to that Chilling Touch combo. And we can just see the power of the AA early game. One of my other, another hero I love. Not as much as Ogre Magi, though.
I really like this lineup of E-Wolves, actually. Like,
We immediately have a gank in on mid. They get the Earth Spike out on Kikoni, but he has time with that Snowball to pop the Flame God, and he's gonna pick off Little Lion, getting killed down by that Flame God. That is, they almost had enough DPS to kill off Kikoni before he popped that Flame God, but not quite, and so he got out of the stun. And in the meantime, Darkseer goes down to Quap. Okay, 2 kills a minute, making it a little bit hard for me to catch them all, guys. I'm gonna need you to calm down both sides.
Yeah, that was the denies, just showing how strong it can be. Because Quap hit 6, right before Darkseer, and Darkseer didn't expect it, and he got one shot by the quad bolt right there.
Sonic Wave comes out and everybody's in a lot of trouble. There is a bottle on the ground. Oh, they're waiting for the person who TP's in to pick it up. Just standard things. A nice pounce onto Jeppens, but again, everybody in this lane's so tanky. But here comes the Chilling Touch, and Jeppens melts like a popsicle, even though the popsicle is on this dire team. Now we've got Pizza Dad taking a lot of damage, but the Chilling Touch is gone, and there is a nice big slow, but the nice little dog pack's gonna kill it. And actually, he might be able to get the lion here. PQ tanky is all get up. Here comes the Ember Spirit though. Big remnants in. Searing chains on both. Holy cow, PQ might go down. Finally, PQ does die first. Oh, and he gets off the bloody Shadow Walk. Are you kidding me? He's gonna kill off Kokoni. Well, Slock, you just showed us that I underestimated you greatly, and yeah, that just happened. I don't know what to say.
That was huge for E-Wolves. Like, I went from being 0-2 to giving Ember a double kill, to killing the Ember and giving Slurk a double kill.
So, we're 6 and 9 in, 6 minutes in. This game is very action-packed, and this offlane, as much as we see this, I'm changing over to Network just because of all of the kills. This offlane that was doing such a good job to shut down Slock, just with that, he's suddenly 5 and 1. So...
I think we saw the power of the AA there. AA is known to be really strong in tri-lanes, but it shows right there. Like, Chilling Touch at level 1 does so much damage. It's 150 extra damage pretty much on all your attacks. It's ridiculous.
He got it off twice in that engagement. I was really surprised because it does have a really long cooldown level 1. He's actually maxing Ice Vortex. I prefer to put more points in Chilling Touch just because it has a lower cooldown that way, but Ice Vortex does increase the slow, and it makes it easier for Slurk to hit the pounce, so I understand that.
It increases Slurk's magic damage to an insane rate. Like, normally
he already is level 6 at 7 minutes in.
That's really dangerous for that pop.
This is another effect we haven't talked about, but this AA, just because he has had a good farm, he does have that early level 6. It means that his Midas will be even closer. I'm assuming he's going on Midas, so...
Okay, I just heard the lip thing too, and I have no idea what's
Right? I don't know. Like, I thought it was you for a second, and I was like, it's... Okay, if that's what you're into, you can make that sound, Noble Wings. Like, I won't... I make some weird sounds as well. Either way, Doxy, he might be in a bit of trouble down bottom. The Sonic Wave is back up. He's being lifted. They're just gonna blow him up. Take it easy. Ping with his life. And, I mean, sometimes you do have to play a little bit out of position to get that experience as an offlaner, but feeling like maybe he, as a Doxy, has died a bit more than expected. Up top, though, we got action again. Jeppin's gonna fall. That nice little Shadow Walk saving off Slock, and Ogre Magi PQ is like, nah, I want none of this. So how do you feel about the Doxy? Sometimes it does feel like you have to die a little bit to get experience, but maybe dying a bit more than expected.
He had a 1v1 lane. I don't feel you should ever die as a Darkseer, and this is the issue of picking Shadow Fiend and Darkseer. It's something that me and my team experimented with a lot, but what you find is that Darkseer and Shadow Fiend both want to farm the jungle, and there's honestly not enough jungle to farm. You stack a 4-stack for Shadow Fiend, and all of a sudden Darkseer is really under-leveled because he didn't get the stack.
We have PQ, he's gonna get blown up by this AA blast, and he is very dead. Doesn't even manage to get the fire blast off, and Slock just using that dog pact in case anything was touching his butt. So he is okay. And yeah, to compare, this Lion, who wasn't involved in those, like, 3 kills up top, only level 4, compared to the AA, who is level 7.5. This is... It's actually... Maybe folks don't appreciate, but when I say it's ridiculous, I'm not kidding. The amount of levels on this AA, actually out of control for that type of support hero. So...
And this Shadow Fiend is getting really big, but as said, it limits the farm of Darkseer a lot, and it forces him to stay in lane, where every 160 seconds with Quap, he might be susceptible, or 135, my bad, susceptible to a death.
So yeah, definitely getting a bit scary. Slog is now suddenly forming up a storm. You're ahead on the Slog. He might, he's got a lot of gold saved up. I don't know if this is going to be a Blink or the Shadow Blade, but could it even be a Midas? I know Slog, while he has that Dog Pact, it helps him form, but Midas sometimes a nice pickup on him as well.
I think you go Shadow Blade. You're already, like, really far ahead, and Midas can increase that, but if you get a really early Shadow Blade, you can create so much pressure around the map and limit the enemy's farm.
Yeah, it's also an interesting pickup because even though Silver's Edge, there aren't a lot of passives that it breaks. I think only Rubik's passive. It still does 40% damage reduction, which is certainly going to be important at some point on Kikoni on this Ember Spirit. So it's not a bad pickup by any means.
It's still a great pickup. I don't know if you actually finish the Silver Edge.
Not
I
until
think
maybe
what I would
later.
do- Yeah, I think you finish the Shadow Blade and then try to go for a different item, whether that be Basher, whether that be Scotty. I think Basher might be the best because Quap and Ember are both very mobile heroes, and I think Slurk needs the lockdown to be able to secure those kills effectively.
So they just they wanted to smoke gank, but they were right under a ward and they realized, but I don't think the ward saw the courier bring out, I don't think anybody on E-Wolves actually saw the ward bring out the courier. Other way, courier bring out the smoke, words hard. So I think they're still gonna be fine, but you can see that E-Wolves is playing pretty far back. They know something funky is happening. Smell it in the air, so.
And, like, you know, when Darkseer is pushing the bottom lane and no one comes to defend the tower, you know something's up. And that's just good map awareness by E-Wolves. They see...
Quap actually
they're
blinking
going
in,
on.
but immediately turned into a Froggy. Instant cost point on that. Actually, I don't know if it's instant. Either way, it looks like they're gonna be going for this tower siege. They know Shadow Fiend is behind the tower. Can they hit the Searing Chains combo? Oh, they're gonna Remnant right on top of him, and Smash has no way out. He's trying to channel that Requiem of Souls, but didn't work. A-Blast does hit. A lot of people are low. Can DD do this? He does use that Shadow Walk, but he's taking a lot of damage from the raise from Pizza Dad. The Sonic Wave way off the mark. Doxy manages to pick off Queen of Pain. She does get it on one, but now DD, he's trying to fight up Kikoni and not getting any luck. Take it easy. Gonna be also maybe going down, trying to get away. Where is the Searing Chains? Oh, the Ice Shield's gonna block him out, and he's most certainly dying. Probably should have gone for the Orochi suicide, and now they're going in on AA as well. Oh no, not the AA! Not my favorite, but he goes down. So, 313 also going down, and suddenly Kikoni, we're gonna see him shoot way up in the net worth. Not only did he get the huge streak that Slog had, the 5-1, he just got a bunch of kills, so...
Was that a Quap? Well, that was a Rubik Sonic Wave, right? I think it rushed.
I don't know, Quap.
Was it?
Rubik is on the same team as the Quap, so it was Quap Sonic
Oh,
Wave.
okay. I
She
don't
did
know what I
it.
was thinking.
She used it for the Doxia, so she didn't manage to hit it on the Slok. It was
Oh, 'cause
just
I
shy.
saw it go off.
Yep.
and
Oh, we
she
have in the
died
middle
off
Smash
the
going
screen.
down again. That's devastating. He just already died once. Now he's down to 10 souls. And just like that, this game, I'm pretty sure, back in Boreal's favor.
Yeah, Boreal also has a nice ward in the jungle right there to watch whenever they're farming stacks. And although Slurk might de-ward this soon, and Slurk did go for the Midas,
Yeah.
even though it will get him further ahead for the mid game. But for the early game right now, he won't be able to create as much pressure as he would have been. So I feel with this pickup, it means E-Wolves are going to try to focus more on getting their mid-game timings with maybe Shadow Fiend having a BKB and maybe one more item, and Slurk having Midas, Shadow Blade, +1.
Let's say this game goes super late. Who do you give the advantage to? I like a Slok as a super hard carry, but I also know Ember can go ham. And actually, before you answer that question, UML are going to be caught out. Searing Chains actually doesn't latch, but there is more than enough with this snowball. And UML going down to Japans. So...
This is a really close game, because Ember Spirit is, I think, one of the best late game carries in the game. He's up there with Medusa, Spectre, just because of the damage output he can do with 2 Daedalus, Rapier, Battle Fury, whatever you want to buy. And the thing with it though, Darkseer AA and that combo will get really effective during the 30 to maybe 60 minute mark. I think during the late game, they're going to be really far ahead in terms of team fight. But once you hit the 60 to 70 minute, like super late game, where Ember Spirit has 6 slotted rapiers and they're going on top.
Yep, and we missed a kill on bottom, but that doesn't matter. The Sonic Wave is up. They managed to pick up Ogre, but I'm pretty sure you're going to see a big fat Sonic Wave. Hey, trying to do something out here. Pizza Dad's probably going to explode anyway, and there's the Sonic Wave coming out on Slug, and she manages to pick him off. And suddenly it looks like everything falling apart for E-Wolves after that one bad team fight.
To get back to the late game,
Yeah.
if it goes ultra late, I think Boreal are going to be in a good spot with Ember having rapiers and everyone having cheap sticks. Because although once you have BKBs and all that, the combo becomes really weak actually on E-Wolves.
Yeah. The other thing I'm really interested in is Shadow Fiend went for a Helm of the Dominator. I haven't seen this on a Shadow Fiend in a while, and I'm much more used to rushing the mech or something. Of course, with the Doxy, he's got the mech.
This is actually a really common build nowadays. It's the build I think I do a lot during my games. We pick me Shadow Fiend and I go the same build, and you go Helm of the Dominator into SNY, and you can they're going on mid.
Oh goodness, we've got another engagement. Nice little finger just to finish off the ogre, but Lion paying with his life, maybe not worth it. Stolen finger! At least it's level 1, so the cooldown is going to be years on the Rubik, but that is not the spell you wanted to give up. You're talking about Shadow Fiend's item build.
Yeah, it's a really common item build actually right now, is to go into Helm the Dominator into an S and Y, and what this lets you do is you can solo Roshan, and he's going to do it now. Yeah.
So yeah, Smash gonna work on that Roshan. He's probably gonna have the Sator mid Mind Stealer. What even is that thing doing there?
I think this is a misplay by Smash. I don't think he realized, but he only has 26 souls, so he's losing a lot of damage actually.
Yeah, and he doesn't have, he only has 1 point in that Presence of the Dark Lord. He's gonna need help. They don't have any vision of this though. Actually, the ward vision all around the map. No wards out for our side of Boreal, and only a few out for our side of E-Wolves, but they're gonna get it down eventually. But here comes, it looks like they're maybe realizing something funky could be up. Bakemono maybe thinking about rotating in. It's gonna be too late though. Even with just 1 point of Presence of the Dark Lord, Ogre Magi may come in and do something, but PQ, where is, oh, PQ doesn't do it, and they're gonna have TPs out. We have an engagement on the front lines though. Kikoni taking a lot of damage there. We've got Take It Easy doing some work, but Take It Easy is in a lot of trouble as well. Kikoni just remnanting through that wall. The Slog doesn't manage to latch, so there's another remnant away. Slog trying to use the dog pack, but AA Blaw's gonna finish off Kikoni, and that is a mega kill streak. Suddenly AA is super rich. I don't think they'll be able to catch Bakemono, but they might be able to catch Pizza Dad. Pizza Dad looking like he's going down. The father of pizza's falling. He actually does a beautiful Earth Spike. Are they gonna get the kill here with the Sonic Wave? Holy shit, they do. Now we're gonna be seeing probably turnaround kill, I imagine, from E-Wolves, although they might just back all the way out. They've got a little bit of the advantage here, just because they did have the Aegis, but a huge misplay, and actually he walks right under a sentry! DD gonna be going down on this lock, no way out. And wow,
That
E-Wolves
that
overextending.
Yeah, 100%. There's no way you should be going that far in. Although I don't think he suspected there'd be a sentry, but you saw Boreal. Boreal put the sentry down, and they were just waiting. Like, they knew he was gonna come up, and they just sat as 3, and they baited him really effectively.
Yeah, we need to look at some item pickups just because a lot has been happening, even though we're 2 kills a minute. We have the Ags up on Bakemono. We've got Japans with that Blink Dagger. Tusk gonna be saving more people. You can get people in the snowball. They don't take AA ult damage. AA is going the Midas, almost has it up, but not quite. Slok has that Shadow Blade, but as we saw, couldn't save him there. And Shadow Fiend looking really thin on the ground. In the meantime, in the mid lane, Doxy gets picked up by the Ember Spirit. They do immediately turn him into a Froggy. A finger as well. A lot of, some of that being blocked. But there's the AA Blast. Will it hit Pizza Dad? The father of Pizza Team dodges it. That's what you get.
Oh, I know what it is. It's the Rubik taunt. He's doing it right now.
Okay, let me go listen.
He's not doing it anymore, but
oh my gosh,
that's the taunt. That
and in the meantime, Quap was going super ham. Slog killed off Japans, and oh my goodness, this game,
yeah, it is the taunt.
Yeah. So kills going down all over the map. Really hard to keep track of all of these, just because there's so much. They do actually shadow. They're smoked up. They could find the Quap, but she blinks away. Bakemono was actually just going for the rune, so don't know if he knew what was up.
Quap's gonna wait for her cooldown and then start ganking all around the map, because she has Aghanims now, and that's makes her a 40-second killer. Every 40 seconds, pretty much, she can go around the map and kill somebody. Doesn't matter who it is, but...
And she's been very successful with that, especially since this Shadow Fiend doesn't have his Sanjin Yasha up yet. He's not as tanky as you would expect.
Yeah, I think the normal build is you finish S and Y and then go into a BKB. I think Smash might go for a Manta style here, just to try to dodge something.
Here's that smoke gank we were talking about. Looks like Take It Easy is gonna be the one who takes the full Sonic Wave. AA Blast's gonna hit, but that just tickles Bakemono. So much health right now, and of course it isn't a, it's only a level 1 AA Blast. It's gonna be level 11 soon though. In the meantime, we have a snowball in. What's happening? We can see UMR taking a lot of damage and just goes down. Where is Slog? Slog Shadow Bladed away. Looks like he tried to gank and it didn't work out.
Yeah, he tried to go for a kill, but he saw the Tusk and the Ember and he got out of there. He didn't want no part of that.
And we are back down to a 0 experience, 0 net worth lead for either team. This game ridiculously even and ridiculously action-packed, but that is the way I like my Dota.
Yeah, and
oh my gosh, he's doing it again! Sorry, you were saying.
And I think Smash is gonna go for the S and Y build, it looks like it. Like I said, this is the normal Shadow Fiend build nowadays. Like, there's a couple ways to build Shadow Fiend, but it's either...
Searing Chains do latch on Slog in bottom, but they just dewarded their sentries, so Slog gonna be perfectly fine Shadow Blading up. I don't know whether going back in is the right choice, especially with the Flame God up, but Kikoni gonna get out and DD just gonna wander home. What is Quap doing? She has that Sonic Wave up. She could just be killing... Kikoni could be killing UMR, but maybe not going for it, so...
Yeah, and the Shadow Fiend build, I think you'll see this build be a lot more common. I said this is kind of the new build that everyone's been going. You either go this or you go kind of for a mech, maybe Yules, and try to fight really early. Because this build lets you farm super quickly, it lets you take Roshan, and it tanks you up a lot, which Shadow Fiend really needs, along with giving you good move speed. It's pretty much the does everything build for Shadow Fiend. Because the issue before was you would go, like let's say BKB rush, and then you don't have any way to chase, you don't have damage, and you're really reliant on your teammates setting up stun speed. But if you go this build, you're really tanky, you have good move speed, and you hit really hard. You hit for something like 200 damage, I think, right now? Yeah.
In the meantime, they do pick off the Ogre Magi in the bottom lane, but that's just Slog doing Slog things, as you mentioned, and early Shadow Blade really powerful. But top tower falls, and they don't actually get a return tower on E-Wolves. There were a few rotations back, and they just didn't have enough damage, so...
And Slurk's gonna be going for this Scotty now, which I think he had the choice of Scotty and going for Abyssal, but he feels he needs to tank up versus the Quap ult, because if he goes Abyssal, he's gonna be there. Okay, right now after reduction, 665 damage. So that's a lot of damage on Slurk. That's almost half his health.
They do the Froggy on Kikoni, but they miss the Earth Spike, and now he's gonna use that Searing Chains, and everybody's gonna back out. Suddenly Evil's realizing they don't want to be there, but I think UMR unfortunately gonna fall, and Bull just facing kind of the wrong way. This looks like you need to escape, but another one found AA, totally found out. He unfortunately is gonna fall, no way out, and what should have been just a little bit, it looks like I feel like maybe a miscommunication between the teams on what they wanted to do there. Lion wanted to go in, maybe no follow-up from the rest of his team.
Yeah, and that's been a big issue in these games, is that the teams have been making huge overextensions into the enemy, and it's costing them. Like, both these games have been really back and forth for the same reason. Teams want to overextend and try to go for more and more and more, but at level 16, how close is Quap to level 16? She's one level off.
She's so level 14, so she's gonna be very close, and she is forming up a storm, and
yeah, she's 14 XP off, or 15 XP off, so it's only one level.
Oh yeah, I did not realize. They actually used the vacuum, but Slog, finding out that there was a blink up there, not just gonna, are they even gonna bother? They don't even need the bloody Sonic Wave, even though there's the mech, and wow. So, Boreal looking very dominant after having a very shaky early game, lost game.
I think that Boreal are playing this lineup really, really well. Like, normally, when you're playing Boreal's lineup, you're the ones that are scared of getting ganked by the Slurk and getting ganked by the Lion, Blink, and AA, but they're the ones putting up pressure.
Ice Shield's way off the mark, but we have a Walrus Punch up top and a Sonic Wave Smash. He just feels like he has to fight it. He doesn't have anything he can do, and yeah, no mischance hope there, even with that Talisman of Evasion. I am getting a bit worried for the lineup of E-Wolves. It feels like the last few engagements very much not been in their favor, and they haven't been getting anything for their towers going down.
I'm kind of confused by the Shadow Fiend Talisman of Evasion. I don't know what he feels he needs it against, personally. I think he 100% needs a BKB right now to deal with all the magic damage coming out, and like, they don't have very much physical damage. The only physical damage they have is Ember Spirit with Sleight of Fist, and although if you go Butterfly, maybe you can force the Ember into an MKB.
But Cleave ignores evasion.
Yeah, like, as long as he's cleaving near the Shadow Fiend with crits or everything, the evasion won't really matter. So I'm kind of confused by this pickup, but we'll see how it works out going into the mid game.
DD on the Slog has finished up the Scotty. He hasn't been involved in very many fights after, I mean, he seems to be playing a lot more cautiously, so... And yeah, things have calmed down suddenly. We're still...
He's going for bottom right now, I think.
Yeah, he might not be able to get this though. He has to be very careful. He's walking right under a sentry. Actually, the blink forwards by UMR means that Jeppen's most likely going down, taking a finger to the face. And yeah, and the snowball change, it still means you can use the snowball into a blink, I believe. So...
I actually don't know.
I believe it's 3
I haven't
seconds
seen it.
now, so...
Oh, it is, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so you can still use it, but he couldn't quite get it there with all the CC coming out of Lion. Although they're thinking about going on Slog. He does have Shadow Blade up. PQ coming in with the multicalls, but you can knock that off with the Dark Pact because of its being a continual purge. And DD's thinking about going back in. Is he gonna go on Bakemono? No, he's just gonna... Oh, he is. He's actually gonna walk right under a sentry. He now knows that they see him in the sentry. He's trying to move away, but he's walking right into another sentry. Shadow Fiend goes down to the Ember Spirit again, and while they use that Shadow Walk, he is regenning up, but he is still taking a lot of damage from that Queen of Pain, but they managed to get it, and now they have more CC for the Queen of Pain. 4 seconds on that Earth Spike, but not enough. I did not see how the Shadow Fiend went down at all, because I was focusing on his kill.
Ember Spirit... I think Shadow Fiend went for this rune, and Ember Spirit and Rubik just walked from, like, this high ground up and killed him.
Yeah. So, such is life, but Slog gets, I believe he just took the gem off of Ogre Magi. So that's pretty devastating. We've talked about this lost game, but it's one of those things where gems have a cooldown to buy them, so they can't get another one for a while now on Boreal.
Also, one thing I do want to know, Ember has just picked up his Sky, and that's huge. I don't know what the exact area is, but it's like a 550 radius slow, which is really big for team fights. You can slow everybody in the entire radius, and I feel Scotty is a really underrated item on Ember right now. I like to personally pick it up as my second item after Battle Fury, which is the same thing that he did this game. So I think it was honestly the perfect item. It tanks him up so that he can't be solo killed by a Lion or Slark, and it gives him a good amount of damage.
And utility.
Yeah, the utility too. And it does give you deceptively a high amount of damage. It gives you 25 agility, which is...
Well, gonna be Walrus punched and blocked by the Ice Shards, but he can pounce over this in 3 seconds, and they don't have vision for him, but he needs to run, because you don't want to lose that gem. He picks up a DD, he might think he can fight here, he does immediately purge off the stun, he uses the Shadow Walk as well, but Ice Shard's blocking him again, A Blast is coming in, it's gonna completely whiff, but his team is blocked off from him. He pounces to the high ground, and I think it is time to drop the gem. Bakemono is actually chasing this. Oh goodness, Slog, he's getting away because Shadow Walk, of course, increasing his move speed, and so... yeah, everything gonna calm down. I think it's time to put the gem away. You done your de-warding. So, the other thing, yeah, we talk about this every game, but Ember Spirit, if he can go an item that gives him damage and tank up, that would be the favorite, because you don't want to build a BKB, you want to be that kind of... Gloss Cannon is ideal, but if you know you need to tank up, Scotty seems like a good idea, and they're pushing this top lane. It feels a bit early for them.
Are they? Yeah.
I mean, they're all grouped up. Aegis is going to be going to the Shadow Fiend again. Feels like Smash definitely needs this, and
And a note on those stats, yeah, most Embers go for Daedalus before the Scotty, but it depends on the game. If you're afraid of dying and there's a lot of stuns like a Lion, Scotty's a great
we
pickup
actually
for
have
you
a nice
second
vacuum
game.
into a wall, but of course lots of mobile heroes here. Smash taking a lot of damage, and they're gonna back out on this push. Slok picks up the Aegis. You were saying about Ember Spirit? Sorry.
Yeah, a lot of Embers go Daedalus, second item, but it really depends on the enemy team. If the enemy has a Lion or someone with a lot of lockdown, Scotty can be, I think, the better second item.
And Slog, he's going in him. He manages to purge off that multicast again. The pounce off the mark for PQ. Don't know if that's the guy you want, but they have an immediate blink in by UMR, and they finger up Ogre Magi. He's going down. Sonic Wave did hit a few, but not nearly as many as you maybe want. And Quap now, she has to be careful, but Kikoni going in, taking no damage, but taking the debuff from that Requiem of Souls. He might take an Ice Blast to the face. The Ice Blast still following, but he gets vacuumed back up. The Frostbite is on him, and Kikoni is going down. Quap will pick off Darkseer. They've also gotten our Slok pretty low. Ember Spirit finally goes down. Slok is healed all the way back up. I wasn't looking at Slok, it was the Darkseer. A really nice snowball down. Actually gets the kill on the AA. And somehow Jeppin's making it out. Wow, nice play from Jeppin. Slok might still chase him. Slok does still have this Aegis. He's going. Oh, the Glimmer Cape, and the thing doesn't latch, but he can see him. Slok's still carrying this gem. So, DD, unstoppable streak. How many is that? 6?
That's, I think it's 6.
Yeah, so...
That was a cheeky play by Pizza Dad. He tried to smoke to get out of Slark's vision range, and it was just off.
Yeah.
Just off. He almost did it too.
So either way, Jeppins gets out of that alive. Quap does as well. Sure, the Ember Spirit with that big streak went down, but now we've got Queen of Pain with a Lincoln's. I think that makes sense, right? That's just so that when Lion blinks in, Queen of Pain can immediately blink away. And speaking of Queen
Yeah.
of Pain things, she's searching on Smash, but they have friends nearby. Lion is just out of blink range. She can't actually steal the experience from these Ancients anymore. It was changed.
She
So
can ult them and get the last hits.
so Bakemono might just come and use that Sonic Wave and blink away. No lockdown, of course, on Smash, but he already has Baby Crit. That's what I like to call the Chrysalis. Baby Crit's a cuter name. But yeah, she just sticks around, and she actually didn't get any... it does indeed block all of Lion's spells. Even if you ground target the Earth Spike, does it block that?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, so I know there's some funky stuff. And once again, I see some new people on the stream. I see we've gotten some new folks. This is game 2 between E-Wolves and Boreal. Boreal are up 1 game. This is the upper brackets match. We're not even in the semis. We're in like the quarterfinals or something to see who can get into that Division 1, which feeds into the MLG League for the Join Dota League. I'm Llama Down Under, joined by Noble Wings from Next Level Badasses and about 7 llamas on stats. And I would love any feedback how to get better. Please leave that in Twitch chat or Twitter or wherever. Llama Down Under, my mods will tell me about it. We have a smoke gank, but with these two, Queen of Pain could probably kill them off. What's going on? They immediately hex up. They're going in. The Sonic Wave does hit both, but yeah, that is a very dead Ogre Magi taking an Ice Blast to the face. Doesn't matter how much armor you have there.
And one thing to note, Slurk has now picked up Abyssal Blade, so he gets really scary. He might even be able to kill this co-op solo now.
How can he top her Lincolns, though?
He needs...
Oh, instead he's going on Pizza Dad. The father of pizza is getting abyssal up. There are going to be TPs in. He uses the Shadow Walk maybe a bit earlier. He's going to run right into the co-op, but the rest of his team coming in. So he might just re-initiate, seeing if he can get some of those stun procs. Ember Spirit actually going in onto Dogs here, and there was a nice vacuum. No wall drop. Finally, the wall is dropped. A co-op just blinking away. Ember Spirit killing off. Take it easy on that Dogs here, and now remnanting away. DD might be able to find them, but the Abyssal is on cooldown. He has to rely on bashes. Ember Spirit is out of remnants, though, so if Kikoni gets caught here, he might go down. And DD, there is another remnant. He's going to jump over, but Kikoni! He can't! He gets stunned! And he doesn't get stun locked. Bashes on Slog, not OP enough.
Slurk is really scary. He's a lot bigger than you want him to be at this point in the game. Because he can solo kill everyone except the Quap and the Ember. And that means your team has to play really safe.
Casual Sonic Wave coming out of Co-op just because she does have Aghanims. There is going to be 1 minute, a little bit less than that, left on the Slog's Aegis, so he has to be careful. And he actually just kills a ward. We have a pause. This is a little bit awkward given the pause location. Slog does have a pounce and that Aegis, so we're going to be okay. We have a DC. We have a slight net worth lead for E-Wolves, but this game is surprisingly close given that we're 31 minutes in. Who do you think it's gonna take it?
I think E-Wolves has the definite advantage. I think they have the advantage going from now until around 50-60 minutes. But once it goes super late game, I think Boreal have a good shot at coming back using the Ember Spirit and all the Battle Furies and Rapiers and everything he gets.
Yeah.
Also, you go.
I was just gonna say, do you maybe buy... I feel like you wouldn't just because of the way you build a Slog, but do you think about getting something maybe to deal with the fact that this Quap, you can't kill her solo, or do you just be like, nah, my Lion will have my back?
I would have honestly gone Orchid. I think Orchid is a really good pickup here. It forces Ember into a Manta style, and it forces Quap into maybe one more defensive item too.
And you do want more attack speed on a Slog, right?
Yeah,
Seems
I
good.
think Orchid's an underrated item on Slug, and this is the perfect game for it. I don't know if he'll do it. I think he might go for more traditional items, maybe a Butterfly, maybe even another damage item, MKB or something like that. But I feel Orchid would be a great pickup for him, and like what it does for him too is Ember right now can't really be solo kill, but if you pick up a Orchid on him, you can roam around the map and you can solo kill. You wanna
Ice Shield
Orchid.
actually forcing Slog to have to walk a really weird direction. He didn't use the pounce there. He does still have the Aegis and the Shadow Walk. Maybe he's trying to use the Aegis. It looks like he's telling his teammates to come back for him. Maybe they can do something here. Nice Ice Blast, and he's gonna get the Aegis used and a 3-man Ice Blast. That's really nice. So now, maybe, oh my goodness, blowing up for PQ. Smash just Requiem of Souls all over his faces. Black matter going everywhere, and yeah, we are done with that engagement. I feel like because the Aegis was going to expire, totally worth it.
Yeah, no, that was definitely worth it.
So
Pace it loss.
I believe he means pack it, folks, but who really knows? Pace it may be something that these really high-level players know about that I don't. So,
But I think Slurk Orchid is actually the perfect item. Is he buying anything? I don't know what he's...
It could be considered a bit late now, maybe, to go the Orchid.
Yeah, I don't think it's too late, because, like, what you're doing with it, though, is you're buying a 4,000 gold item, and you force Ember Spirit into a 5,000 gold item. And Ember Spirit doesn't want to go Manta style. If you can avoid going Mana style, you really want to avoid it. You want to get crit, you want to get all these different items, and Mana style is not on your list. But when you're playing against a Slurk with an Orchid, or a Storm, or someone, you're forced into a 5,000 gold Mana style that takes up one of your item slots. So Orchid, even though it doesn't provide much utility for team fights, the way that it influences the game isn't about how well you do in team fights. It's about changing the item build of the Ember Spirit to be less effective versus your team.
Definitely. And as we already talked about, you force him to go those items. Sucks to be you. If you're an Ember, maybe not that much sucks. I had too much in my sucks there. Let's stop talking about sucking. Sorry, I just realized we're casting. This is almost as bad as this morning when we were talking about tops. Let's discuss instead Queen of Pain. So she's had this Bassie for like years. I think she's just hanging on to it, right? Because it's like, oh, I had it, like I have the inventory slot. Do you think she might make a Vlad's?
No, I think it's just because they don't have a Aquila yet on anybody. So Bassie does give +2 armor to your team, and although it's like minuscule, it still can affect a team fight by like 100 HP on every hero if Slurk's hitting them the entire time.
And
Sorry.
Jeppens has picked up a Ghost Scepter. I really like this, you know, it's gonna help them a lot against the Slug, and yeah, you have to be careful with the AA blast, but it's a really nice pickup.
I think Rubik and Ogre both need to pick up Ghost Scepter soon. Slark is going to be roaming around the map still, and sadly they don't really have a way to kill him. They have a lot of stuns, but they don't have enough burst damage. They have like 800 burst damage coming out of the Quap, they have maybe a couple hundred from Ogre Ember, they have a couple hundred from Tusk, but even though they might be able to do 2,000 burst, Slark can still just ult and run away. This is the point in the game where Slark is really scary, because he has so much item advantage on everybody, it becomes impossible to solo kill him. You could 5-man smoke gank the Slurk and you might not even get the kill on him.
Pizza Dad looks to be not going the Blink, not going the Ghost Scepter as we talked about, but the Ags. Are there really that many great... I mean, AA ult certainly sounds fantastic, as does Doxier ult, but...
Ags on Rubik it's good for a number of reasons versus this team. It gives you the ability to steal... Let's say you can steal wall, pop wall, and steal vacuum right away. So you can pretty much steal his combo. Where before you have 15 seconds cooldown and you're probably not going to get vacuum. You're going to get surge or ion shell.
Yeah, these spell names difficult. So yeah, he's got a fantastic amount of things to steal this game, and game is going to chill out. I can hear Rubik going again, and so we're just going to have everything going back to farming. Do you think E-Wolves wants to wait for the next Roshan? I think that could be a great play. Looking like they might not be as contested for it just because of how huge Slok is.
I think you get a BKB on Smash, and I think you can push with that. Like, you set Smash up high ground, you have them hit the towers, you have Slurk up high ground, hit the towers, and if they engage on you, you can just BKB and wait out your cooldowns again, or Slurk can ult and wait out your cooldowns. I feel like that's the way they need to play this game.
Yeah, we haven't talked about it, but Smash does have that Daedalus up. Lion does have Blink Glimmer Cape, gonna help him. They're actually going really far up on Boreal for this siege. They blink over did I just see that right? No, okay, I did not see that right. For a second I thought the Ember Spirit had a blink. It's definitely something I've seen before, but wasn't expecting here. And yeah, we have a little bit of a Batman graph here. I think it's not quite there yet. It's more like a cat with some hair in the middle.
Ember Spirit really needs his...
Oh goodness, we've got Slog doing Slog things up top. Everybody's in the snowball. That keeps going towards Slog, and there's gonna be an AA blast. If this hits, I'm pretty sure Rubik is dead. Dogsy coming in to make sure it's a reality. Jeppens gonna be the next one to fall, but can they stop him? No! Slog gets caught. No chance of getting bashes if you're stuck in the trees. So at least he's gonna follow that advice.
That is really unfortunate for Slug.
Yeah.
that's the type of thing where you just facepalm afterwards. You press the button and then you just take your hands off the keyboard.
I mean, it's also really hard, right? It's one of those things where, especially with the way that trees work, where I think if you leap onto them and you're a little bit past, you get forced out, right? So it can be...
Yeah, well, it's like if you leap into an area that like you can't path into, it breaks the trees, I think. but if you leap
Oh,
into...
we have the blink forwards, Walrus Punch on Take It Easy, who's suddenly really out of position. Ice Shards, you can't surge past them, and actually he's in a really bad spot. He does have his own blink dagger though, but the snowball showing he doesn't give any craps about your... Oh gosh, he's caught out by the Ice Shards. He doesn't care about your blink, and Quap probably just going to use the Sonic Wave to finish this off since it has all of that 40-second cooldown. Where is it?
Oh, it's 7
Sakamoto!
seconds.
Oh, it's on cooldown! What did she use it on? And oh, it's still they're going to get the kill. So Walrus Punch taking it. Japan's getting a nice bit of damage on there and a bit of farm. I'm not quite sure what Mono used the Sonic Wave on.
He used it to farm some creeps
Oh, yeah.
in the bottom lane.
Always feels good. I love getting farm. Shadowfiend goes bots. Again, I do agree with you. I feel like needs to go
BKB.
yeah, anything. BKB, Scotty, just tank up. Smash has been dying a lot despite the pace of this game. And we have an aggressive smoke, but only the Slok and the Lion there needs the Lion to break that link, and they got it. Finally, they can work on using that Abyssal Blade. Bakemono's finally gonna fall. Japan's probably too. The Fade Bolt doesn't matter at this point in the game. Look, Finger coming out onto Japan's, but now Remnant, beautiful Remnant in, taking off AA and Lion on the back lines. But now we're gonna see Kikoni versus DD. There is the stun coming out for Kikoni, taking a lot of damage. Will he have the Remnant away? They will actually be able to chase because you're a little froggy, Slok. And he finally gets out of that, but the stolen Hex by Rubik doing mad work. They're gonna get the pounce onto PQ, gonna fall. They should be able to take mid tower with this, but the creep wave's in totally the wrong position. And Slok again holding the gem. He's been, oh, it's max time Roshan spawn.
Oh yeah, it is.
This is really good for
That's
Boreal.
unfortunate. Yeah, it's unfortunate for E-Wolves that it turns out like that.
Also,
And-
Kikoni got away with like 200 health, maybe.
Yeah, I was watching the last auto attack, and if Smash had crit there, he'd be dead. Oh, it was...
Yeah,
They're just
again,
messing
what is
around.
Smash doing? Smash maybe going to take a lot of damage. He can put auto attacks. Oh goodness, he's critting on Kikoni. Where is your Remnant? Kikoni taking a lot. He does use that Searing Chains. It does hit. Oh, but the crit! 700 crit, killing off Kikoni, and a little bit of a misplay. And Smash showing not only does he have the skill, he has the RNG. In the meantime, I totally miss Slok doing Slok things behind the tower, killing off Pizza Dad.
He has a Blink Dagger too now.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I'm really interested. He'll probably finish off those bots, drop the gem, force one of his teammates to be the little camel bag for him, you know? Camel bag
Does
isn't the
Ember
word.
have buyback? He does, so...
Yeah.
This is a good time to take a fight for Boreal. You buy back the Ember, your Quap has a sheep. This is the first time... Oh, there we
They
go.
grow aggressively onto Diddy. He doesn't have an Aegis or anything, but there is a beautiful vacuum. It catches, makes a couple of illusions. They're immediately killed up by that Sonic Wave. You see a nice little Abyssal Blade on Japans, but I don't think he can do it. What is Smash doing? He's still inside their base. None of this damage is missing. He's just going to auto attack and hope he can regen, but he does not. Slok gets out, but not what you wanted. You didn't want to give up Smash for that. And Slok, he's going to get out scot-free. He actually needs to bail, I believe, with all of the blinks coming out from our side of Boreal, and we are somehow still almost at 2 kills a minute.
I thought that was going to be disastrous because
For
Ember,
E-Wolves, you mean?
Ember didn't buy back.
Oh.
He saw them go in and he was like, I don't want to buy back for this team. And then I think his team thought he was going to buy back because they jumped right on that Slurk. And wait, what? You go.
Oh, just again, Boreal showing they're very, very good at defending. Like, this is what we saw last game, right? They defended where it felt like they shouldn't have been able to.
Yeah, like I think E-Wolves really should have tried to force the Ember buyback, and that's what they were trying to do. And when you lose a fight 4v5 like that and you don't force the Ember buyback, all of a sudden you get put in a really bad position. Like now, Boreal might even be able to force Shadowfiend to buyback if they try to go for this Roshan.
Yeah, it looks like they're backing out, or at least will wait for the Ember to come around. We've got some new and interesting item pickups. The Quap has the sheep. She may have had that actually for a little bit because she is very rich. But Quap has sheep. Ember is now working on an MKB. I think, other than that, Javelin, I don't think he's building an Abyssal. It would be interesting. Can you Abyssal during Sleight of Fist? You can, right?
Yes, you can. But
So,
like,
not very common.
Your period for doing it is really low because you're only there for like point something second. So you have to make sure that the target you want to Abyssal is the one that you're currently hitting with Sleight of Fist.
Yep,
So it's more difficult than you think to hit.
They have a really aggressive smoke, and I don't know whether they're going to find anyone. Slok is still running around with the gem. He's going to be the target on this. Turned into a sheepy. He doesn't have a second life here. If he goes down, he's going to be very, very dead. He needs to immediately use that, but they have so much AoE damage that the Shadow Dance maybe not going to do the work. People put in snowballs who are Abyssal Bladed. That's horrible. Pizza Dad finally dies to a lot of this damage coming out, as does PQ, and they're going to manage to kill off the dogs here as well, but they should be able to get Japans, and he goes down. A disastrous fight. Slog still going in ham. That shadow walk has healed him up so much. Shadow dance. It's not a walk. It's like a tango. You know, you shake your hips a little bit. I think Slog shakes his hips when he walks. But either way, he has decided to finish up the Silver's Edge, which is I think appropriate at this point in the game. That 40% damage reduction, pretty good. Oh, and they get a DD, of course, to do Roshan. We're tied up at 37 to 37. 12,000 plus gold lead and experience lead for E-Wolves. This is how we were last game though, at around this point, and then suddenly everything went Boreal's way.
Yeah, Boreal's playing really risky though. Ember has bought out for MKB, and they only have buybacks on their Tusk and Queen of Pain, and that can be really risky if Ember dies or even the Rubik or Over dies.
Casual Sonic Wave. No, okay, she's just gonna TP out. Sorry, you were saying not having buybacks super risky.
Yeah, not having buybacks. Against an Aegis especially, like this could be disastrous. If they push high ground and lose, I think the game's over.
So either way, the Aegis went up on Slok. I'm trying to check items. This game, really typical. This is why I love this region. So many kills, it's a bloodbath. AA does have the Aghanims. That's also really powerful in these fights. It's one of those things where if these fights go longer, AA is going to be very happy, as is the Slok. More Essence Shift stacks, more chance for people to die to the Frostbite. So
yeah, it's 37 to 37 at 41 minutes. Yeah. It's a ridiculous kill game.
And it's very even. This game has, well, I mean, they're behind, but before the big dip, never mind. Let's just ignore that I said it's very even. It's even in kills. It feels like if either team blinks, though, you could have, and by blink I mean makes a mistake, it could just swing.
Yeah, it's just, E-Wolves have done a fantastic job of finding the map and always reach on top.
They froggy up, Smash taking huge amounts of damage, the crit came off, but here comes DD on the backlines, Kikoni taking Abyssal and turned into a froggy, and nothing Quap can do to save her teammate. Kikoni just gonna, Bakemono just gonna run away, actually runs into the Ancient Apparition, maybe could kill that, but doesn't want to risk because of the blink mobility on the side of E-Wolves.
This is actually, like, this might be GG. Ember, I don't think has buyback, and, oh no, he does. He just barely has it.
Yeah. Ooh, my net worth is a mess. So, either way, we'll be seeing them start to siege with crits with all of this. There is the full Satanic up on Smash, although it is on cooldown for 8 more seconds. Rubik does have Doxia Wall. That's something we haven't. A dropped Ironwood branch. Thank you, Ember. I thank you, Kikoni. You're the real MVP for putting that out for me. We've got a little Hex onto Bakemono, taking a lot of damage. He does manage to get out. Now, I'm not even sure. I think he was put in the snowball there. Looks like it. Suddenly, Dogseer has fallen, but Tusk, Japan's going down. They're managing to kill off this. Oh, they can't actually reach the bloody Sigil. They need to knock it out. It makes sieging the tower so much easier. They finally get it down. Slog does have 2 lives. He actually blinks forwards. He picks up Rubik. Pizza Dad going down. Pizza Dad was one of the cause things in this. Bakemono also taking a lot of damage here. Smash, while he is getting really low. Smash actually needs to be careful. Oh, he just eats the... he healed off of the creep, sorry. With the Satanic, he still has the cheese. So, Bakemono needs to be very careful. Tusk does buy back. Japan's coming back in, but I think they're at least losing a Rax now. Also, Slok not dispelling those stacks of killing touch life choice. Not important though. We have lots of buybacks. They forced the buybacks. I think they'll consider this a win. Slog thinking about going back in, but he's under a ward, and he has barely any mana. He wants to use this Aegis, I think, before it runs out. He actually leaps, pounces away. We'll be right back. 2 minutes. 2 minutes on that Aegis. So maybe Slog thinking it would be best to use it. So
yeah, I think E-Wolves definitely learned from their previous attempts is that they kept diving and they kept throwing fights like that. So now they're playing really safe. They got the tier 3. And even though they might have been able to force into a third Rax, they just decided to back off and play it safe, which I think is really smart.
And they immediately have the smoke out. As you said, game 1, got to be devastating on your morale, and you don't want to make the same mistake. But we're at almost a 20,000 net worth lead, over a 20,000 net worth lead. Our stats man will point out the percentages in a second of how you chances of coming back to this game. So.
Oh, this Darkseer blink.
Okay, he actually doesn't get seen because it's nighttime. Night vision doing work for this evil side, because he certainly would have been dead. And now an A blast, actually not a scouting one. I thought it was a jungle scout, but it was in... Oh, it does end up seeing though. Pops up on PQ and just got unlucky that he got clipped there. So
yeah, and E-Wolves are in a great position now. Ember has had his buyback forced. He has to play safe for 5 minutes. Like, he can't really leave the base without his team for 5 minutes. And, well, he might get the Slurk, though.
Yeah, Slug, he's coming in. He does have Aegis for at least, I think, a minute left. They're actually going to back out. I think they know it. Slug, oh no, he has Aegis for under a minute. This is actually really big. They managed to pick up PQ on that Ogre Magi, but Slug, I don't think he's going to get to use this Aegis, and it's going to be interesting because it might expire at a time that screws him over. He's actually trying to go ham on Kikoni. Well, Pizza Dad, whoever he can find, DD wants it. DD wants some of that Pizza Dad action. Who doesn't? I love pizza. Oh, he gets the Shadow, the bloody Silver's Edge post-proc, and DD going ham as he knows he's just got a few seconds left. And they're going to try to go, oh goodness, he blinks forwards actually. A-Blast hits on Jeppins, and they're taking him out too. This is most certainly at least a Rax. They don't have buyback on any of these three heroes, and it doesn't feel like these two can go hold. Kikoni getting hexed up, getting turned into a froggy next, now pulled backwards, and the finger to end it off. He doesn't have buyback either. Bakemono, the sole survivor, but the cooldown on. Oh, now he's going down as well. I wouldn't be surprised if that's our GD, and holy shit, we're going to a game 3. I am so excited.
Game 3, guys.
I don't know, are you able to join me for game 3?
Oh yeah, I can join.
Oh yeah.
Let's do it.
I'm hyped. I'm Lava Down Under, joined by the wonderful Noble Wings from Next Level Badasses. He's also in this Join Dota League playoffs gaming business. We're going to be headed into a game 3. We had about 7 llamas on stats. I'm super excited. If you have feedback on the calls because I'm new, I would love to hear it on how to get better, how to suck less, how to all of those things. So please leave your feedback on Twitter, Llama Down Under, Twitch, Llama Down Under, or Facebook, Llama Down Under. Do you have anything you want to shout out, Noble Wings?
Oh no, I'll save it for game 3.
Okay, we'll do
after
mad
these hype
sick.
games, we gotta get one more hype game up.
Yeah. So anyway, folks, we'll be going to music right quick after we do a little thank you to